A lot of people get married, and I did, and I just thought by the fact that we got married that we were going to have a happy marriage and everything was going to go great. Unfortunately, the same energy that I used to pursue Karen when we were dating, I didn't use that same energy in marriage. I was just a lazy slob. And I just thought that, we should be in love and everything should just work. See, the second law of marriage is work. It's the law of pursuit. It says here, a man will cleave unto his wife. That is originally, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew originally. And that Hebrew word means to work with all your energy. It means like to climb a mountain. It means you're going to work at the relationship. See, from the very beginning, God told us marriage had to be first. That was yesterday. Okay. Then he told us we had to work at the relationship. Marriage only works when you work at it. It doesn't matter who you are. There's no one pretty enough or rich enough or good enough that marriage just works for them automatically. It just doesn't happen that way. I've been a marriage counselor for 42 years, been married for 50 years. I've never seen one person, regardless of who they are, who naturally succeeded in marriage without working at it. See, this is one of our romantic misconceptions, that if I married my soulmate, if I married the right person, I shouldn't have to work at the relationship. We have a lot of people that, come in for marriage counseling and they're very frustrated because they think there's something wrong with them having to work at the relationship. And what we say is, who do you think you are? It's like going to Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime and saying, I bet you were just born that way, weren't you? Just have all these muscles naturally. He would say, no, I worked very, very hard to get these muscles. Exactly. You go to a person with a great marriage, they work to have that great marriage. You go to a person successful in business, they work to be successful in business. Marriage is the only area of life we think that we have a divine right for success without working at it. That's the way I felt. And so we were on the verge of divorce. I did not meet Karen's needs. I was lazy. I took her for granted. See, you fall in love working. Always. You're working at the relationship. You're working to meet each other's needs. You're working to impress each other. You're working to please each other. Then you get married and start taking each other for granted, and the love goes. Okay. Well, Jesus said this, a very, very important statement. He said, wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Okay. Well, the word treasure in the Greek language, the New Testament was originally written in Greek. The word treasure is the word thesaurus. You've heard that word before. Well, it can mean treasure, but it also means treasury, a treasure chest. Wherever your treasure chest is, where you're depositing your treasures, there will your heart be also. Well, the word heart is a Greek word cardia, where we get our word cardiac. It's the seat of our emotions. Jesus said, wherever you're depositing the treasures of your life, that's where your passion is going to be. And so when you fall in love, when you're dating, and you fall in love, it's because you're putting all your treasures in your boyfriend or girlfriend. And then you fall in love and then you get married. Well, then the love goes. My wife and I, after 3 years of marriage, we were out of love. We were out of like. The only emotions we had were negative emotions. Some of you would say, well, I'm out of love. Been there, done that. That's not the end of your marriage. And that's not the end of your passion. See, the reason you're out of love is because you stop putting your treasure in your spouse. You stop giving your best. Remember, day 2 is that marriage has to be first. You stop giving your best to your spouse, and now you're giving it to work and to friends and to sports and to children and to social media and somewhere else, and you're wondering where the love has gone. Well, the love is where your passion is, where your treasure is. And so see, like, if you're putting your treasure at work, that's where your passions are. Okay, if you put all your treasure in your children, that's where your passion is. And so what do you do to change it? Well, what I did was I hung up my golf clubs. I started coming home from work, and I started working at meeting Karen's needs. It transformed our relationship. Our passion returned. See, the treasure chest is where your passion is. And see, your passion is telling on you. And if you're not passionate about your marriage, that's telling on you. It's your fault. To the degree that you're not doing your part in the relationship, you say, well, my spouse isn't doing their part. See, I love this saying, the best person does the right thing first. If you're the best person in the marriage, you do the right thing first. You begin working at the marriage and working to meet your spouse's needs, regardless of what they do, and see what a difference it makes in your marriage. But when you have two people working at a relationship, it's dynamic. And that's the way God created marriage. For this cause, a man will leave his father and mother, make his marriage first. You have to reprioritize your parents, your family, everything, and make marriage first, and cleave, work to meet his wife's needs. The wife works to meet her husband's needs. And that's where you have the passion in your marriage. That's where it comes from. It doesn't come from have the right chemistry. It comes from working at the relationship and following God's laws of marriage.